Hello and welcome to Edison TV. Today I'm joined by Matthias Steddelmeier, CEO of Tradedoubler. Tradedoubler is a listed online marketing and technology company operating globally. And today we're focusing specifically on the market environment for the company's products and services, and also the company's deployment of artificial intelligence. Matthias, many thanks for joining me today. Can you start by discussing a little bit the dynamics of the industry? In particular, affiliates often say that they use multiple affiliate networks, whereas you don't hear that from advertisers. Is that true from your experience, and can you explain why there would be an imbalance there?
Yes. Well, affiliates, so the partners we're working with, they kind of like always work across all the networks. They want to monetize their inventory. The only exception is maybe that the really large ones, like take Microsoft, take Klarna, take Payback in Germany, Top Cashback in the UK, or similar ones, they usually only work with the larger networks and not with the smaller ones. That is just like for the admin. So if you are a larger network, there is certainly some scale effects and some benefits because you have all the partners on board, but affiliates usually work across all the networks. For brands, that is usually maybe not the case, but still it happens quite regularly. But then when it's really down to individual circumstances, so for example, market coverage, if they prefer to work with an open network in one market, if they the network of their choice is only active in certain markets and they need another partner in other markets. But usually there is not so much reason why you work with different networks, because as I said, you get all the affiliates if you work with one of the major networks. We ourselves see us being strong here because we combine this global reach in service with this local expertise in the different markets. And then we have all the large partners onboarded onto our system. So this combination makes us a reliable single network partner for many brands.
And now turning specifically towards artificial intelligence, obviously that's impacting all industries to a greater or lesser extent. And the marketing services sector is obviously no exception. Where do you see the opportunities and the challenges for Tradedoubler? And also, what action are you taking to manage these and to benefit from these trends?
We see it as a huge opportunity for us. AI will become a new traffic source for our partners, and we're working on 3 areas, basically. The one is internal efficiencies, automating processes that we have. Partner marketing in itself, influencer marketing as well, is not the most automated businesses because it means being involved with many people on the brand side as well as on the partner and influencer side. You bring them together, they collaborate, where there is a lot of human touch points. You obviously have inefficiencies, but AI is prone to help us on that because it is so good in dealing with data and complex input. We working on functionalities in the platform, so AI-based functionalities in the platform. That can, for example, be partner recommendation, predictive analysis, forecasts, etc., based on the data. And then, as I said already, with the last question, AI-driven traffic sources, where we actively work on our platform being accessible, but then, of course, as well with partners that are AI traffic first partners. We are ourselves are AI ready. We have created a large data lake, so put all the data into one place so that AI can work with that. We have first automated workflows, and as I just said, we have first AI-based functionalities to be available in the interfaces from the first quarter of 2026. Next now is to continue to build on that, basically expanding further and further, generating efficiencies and realizing this upside potential.
And so looking into your crystal ball, what do you think a customer journey will look like in a few years? And how will Tradedoubler fit into that evolving journey?
Customer journeys for sure will become much shorter. We are already seeing these user journeys getting much shorter as people are searching more detailed already. So we see a big shift in consumer behavior. Our platform is built to capitalize on this shift because with these new traffic sources coming in, which are usually much more media and content related, it allows us in the user journey to go rather upwards and not only work on the last click and the last action before the sale, but it allows us to expand upwards, which is exactly the reason why this is becoming so exciting for us.
So your industry is characterized by rapid technological and regulatory change, and AI, I guess, is just the latest and largest revolution. Looking back at previous disruptions, third-party cookies, GDPR, ad blockers, Google Analytics, etc., your business has survived and performed well through those transitions. What enables you to cope with these challenges better than like many of your peers? And can you give an example of adapting to a major industry change?
It goes back to the three assets that we have. The largest asset we have is obviously the network. I'm working in Tradedoubler, so in partner marketing, for almost 20 years now. And when I compare what the network has looked like some 20 years ago and what it looks like today, it's completely different. So the type of partners, the verticals that we're working with, and utilize their inventory for our brands has changed a lot, which means that the network itself provides this constant innovation and this constant reinventing of business models and advertising models, basically. And our brands working with us kind of like naturally benefit from that. The second is obviously the technology. There has been many, many changes, and we need to make an effort, and we always do that, to stay at the forefront when it comes to tracking, when it comes to analytics, etc. But our technology platform is actually a huge machine, and we've always been in advance. Like we are, for example, prepared if there wouldn't be any cookies anymore, so we're still able to track. That's the two main reasons. On top comes the service and the expertise that we have. We know everything about performance marketing, and we know everything about how to make campaigns convert and being successful. This is, I think, the main reason why partner marketing itself is so resilient.
And then finally, in our last conversation, you confirmed that M&A is part of your growth strategy. Do you see AI as presenting an opportunity for industry consolidation? For example, will the higher technical bar make it harder for smaller affiliate networks to compete?
A bit yes and no. On the consolidation itself, I don't think that it changes so much. But on the one hand, obviously, smaller companies will be more agile and flexible to come up with new solutions, for sure. On the other hand, the big assets of an established partner marketing company are the network and the technology. So when you just like think about the technology, every month we track something like 500 million clicks. That's a huge amount of data. We have all these different functionalities like payments, tracking, etc. So that's a big entry hurdle. And then obviously you need to build a network, right? So you need to have the partners on board. That's the key, and that's difficult to replicate.
Fascinating stuff. Matthias, many thanks for joining me again.
Thank you very much, Dan.